Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the HSS Liberty, gazing at the stars through the main viewport. The exploration vessel had been traversing space for 3 months, searching for new worlds humans could call home. The crew of 200 had become like family during the long journey through the darkness between stars. "Captain, we're picking up something on long-range sensors," said Navigator Ben Cooper from his station. His fingers danced across the control panel, bringing up readings on the main screen. "It's big, sir. Much bigger than anything we've encountered before." Jake walked over to examine the data streaming across Ben's console. The readings revealed a massive object drifting through space about 2 million kilometers away. It was at least 10 times larger than the Liberty, emitting energy signatures their computers couldn't identify. "Could be a space station or maybe a very large ship," said Commander Lisa Parks as she joined them at the navigation station. Lisa was the ship's chief engineer, and Jake trusted her judgment above anyone else on board. "The energy output is staggering. Whatever it is, it has power sources we've never seen," she added. Jake studied the readings for a few more moments before deciding. "Set course to intercept, but keep a safe distance. If this is someone's ship, I want first contact to be peaceful." The Liberty changed course, moving toward the unknown object. As they approached, sensors revealed more details. The structure wasn't just massive, it was mesmerizing in a strange alien way. Smooth curves and flowing surfaces made it appear as though water had frozen in space. Lights pulsed along its hull in patterns almost like a heartbeat. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," reported Communications Officer Dan White. "It's coming from that ship." "Put it on the main screen," Jake ordered. The viewport filled with the image of an alien being unlike anything humans had seen. Its pale blue skin glowed faintly, and its eyes radiated light of their own. When it spoke, the words flowed through, their translation system in flawless English. "Human vessel, you are in territory claimed by the Catherine Empire. Your species has no business in this sector. Turn back and return to your own worlds." Jake stepped forward to make himself clearly visible. "I'm Captain Jake Morrison of the human exploration ship Liberty. We're on a peaceful mission, seeking new worlds to explore. We were unaware this area was claimed." The alien's expression remained unreadable. "Ignorance is not an excuse. The Catherine Empire has ruled this region for 1,000 years. Primitive species like yours belong near their home planets." The insult hit Jake like a physical blow, yet he kept his voice calm. "With all due respect, we have every right to explore space, just like any other species. If you could direct us to unclaimed systems, we'll gladly continue our mission elsewhere." "There are no unclaimed systems," the alien replied. "Everything of value belongs to the Catherine Empire. Your crude ships are nothing but toys to your kind. Children playing with forces you cannot comprehend." Lisa stepped beside Jake, her face burning with anger. "Our technology may be different, but that doesn't make us primitive. Humans have explored, built, and learned for thousands of years." The alien seemed amused. "Your species has barely learned to leave your home world. The Catherine Empire was traveling between stars when your ancestors were still living in caves. You do not belong among the stars." Jake felt his crew's anger rising on the bridge. Every human aboard had devoted their lives to exploration and discovery. Being called primitive children was more than an insult. It was a direct challenge to everything they believed in. "We're not looking for trouble," Jake said carefully. "But we won't be scared away either. Space belongs to everyone, not just your empire." The alien's eyes glowed brighter, as if with anger. "You dare lecture the Catherine Empire about space? Very well, human. Let this serve as a lesson. Your species will remember for generations." The transmission ended. Alarms blared throughout the Liberty. "Captain, they're powering up weapons. Energy readings are off the charts," Ben shouted. "Shields up! Evasive maneuvers!" Jake ordered, though even as he spoke, he knew it might be too late. The Catherine vessel fired a weapon unlike anything humans had seen. Instead of energy beams or missiles, it sent waves of force that twisted space itself around the Liberty. Lights flickered and died as every system began failing simultaneously. Lisa sprinted to her engineering console, working desperately to stabilize the ship. It's some kind of quantum disruption field. It's interfering with our power core. At the molecular level, I can't stop it. The Liberty shuddered and went dark. Emergency lights flickered on, casting a red glow. Artificial gravity failed, and the crew began floating in the zero-gravity environment. Life support is failing, reported Dr. Amy Rodriguez from the medical station. Maybe 6 hours of air left. Less if panic spreads. Jake gripped his command chair to steady himself. Around him, the crew fought to restore power to their dying vessel. Outside, the Catherine ship hovered like a predator watching prey. Ben managed to get the communication system working long enough to send a distress signal. Mayday, Mayday! This is HSS Liberty. We are disabled and require immediate assistance. Our position is... The system cut out. Lisa pulled herself through zero gravity to Jake's side. I can jury-rig life support to last maybe 12 hours if we shut everything else down. Without main power, we're just drifting, waiting to die. Jake looked at his crew. These were brave people who volunteered for a dangerous mission because they believed in humanity's future among the stars. They didn't deserve to die because some alien empire thought humans didn't belong. Keep working, he told them. We've gotten out of worse situations. Human beings survive no matter what that alien thinks. Hours passed. Air thinned. Jake wondered if human stubbornness and ingenuity would be enough this time. The Liberty was dying, and the darkness of space seemed poised to claim another crew daring to reach for the stars. Rescue arrived just as the air supply reached critical levels. Admiral Kate Sullivan's fleet had received Ben's distress signal and traveled faster than expected. The massive salvage vessel Titan's Reach extended towing cables and pulled the dying exploration ship toward safety. Jake watched through the viewport as they neared Titan shipyards, humanity's largest construction facility, floating near Saturn's moon. The shipyard looked like a metal city, with docks and construction bays stretching for kilometers. Thousands of workers lived and built the ships that carried humanity to the stars. Welcome to Titan shipyards, Admiral Sullivan said as she boarded through an airlock. Tall, gray-haired, and battle-hardened, she gave Jake a firm look. I'm sorry about your ship, Captain Morrison. The Catherine Empire has been causing trouble for human vessels in this sector. Thank you for the rescue, Admiral. My crew and I owe you our lives. But what do you know about the Catherine? Her expression grew serious. They're an ancient empire claiming half the galaxy. They've expanded for centuries and don't like younger species interfering. Your ship isn't the first they've disabled, but it's the first we could recover. The Liberty was towed into a large construction bay where engineers awaited to examine the damage. Chief designer Ryan Blake led the team alongside Dr. Amy Rodriguez. Ryan was thin, quick-handed, and able to solve problems most wouldn't even recognize. He crawled through the Liberty's damaged corridors with portable scanners, measuring energy readings and sampling metal altered by the alien weapon. This is incredible, Ryan said. The Catherine weapon didn't just drain power, it changed the molecular structure of the hull and systems. Look at these readings. Dr. Rodriguez leaned over his shoulder. The quantum disruption field left fingerprints in the metal itself. It's like the weapon signed its work. Admiral, Sullivan joined them by the darkened power core. Can this be repaired? Ryan shook his head. The core is dead. We'd have to rebuild it from scratch, but this might be an opportunity. If we understand the Catherine weapon, we could build defenses or use their own tech against them. Dr. Rodriguez nodded. Every species builds specialized ships. Humans adapt, modify, and improve as we go. Sullivan paced around the core. You want to rebuild the Liberty using alien technology? Ryan corrected her. We'll combine their quantum principles with human engineering. Create a ship that learns, adapts, and evolves during combat. Captain Morrison, listening, nodded. They wanted to send a message about humanity's place in the universe. Maybe it's time we sent one back. Sullivan looked at him. What message? The kind loud enough for the whole galaxy to hear, Jake replied. They called us primitive children playing war with toys. Let's show them what human children can build when they put their minds to it. The Admiral made her decision quickly. Project Lazarus is now classified at the highest levels. Ryan, you have unlimited resources and the best team we have. Dr. Rodriguez, you'll lead the Alien Technology Research Group. Captain Morrison, the Liberty is still your ship. You'll oversee the entire reconstruction. Over the following weeks, Titan shipyards became a hive of unprecedented activity. Engineers studied every piece of Catherine technology they could access. The quantum energy signatures from the disabled Liberty formed the foundation for understanding the Empire's weapons and shields. Ryan's team discovered that Catherine vessels relied on rigid, unchanging designs. Their ships were built to exact specifications and never modified. It was a philosophy that produced powerful vessels, but also predictable ones. They built their ships like works of art, Ryan explained to the design team. Beautiful, perfect, and completely inflexible. But humans? We build to adapt, improve, and respond to new challenges. Dr. Rodriguez made the breakthrough that changed everything. While analyzing the quantum signatures, she realized the Catherine disruptor had created tiny tears in space itself around the Liberty, invisible, yet detectable with the right instruments. The weapon doesn't just drain power, she told Admiral Sullivan during a late-night briefing. It opens microscopic holes into subspace. That's where the energy goes. If we control those holes, we could tap the same energy source their empire relies on. The new Liberty began to take shape. Externally, it resembled an exploration vessel. But inside, it was completely transformed. Human adaptability fused with alien quantum physics, creating systems that could reconfigure based on combat conditions. The new power core drew energy directly from controlled quantum tears in subspace. Adaptive metals strengthened the hull under attack. Every system was designed to learn from enemy weapons and automatically develop countermeasures. Captain Morrison stood on the rebuilt bridge watching technicians install the final systems. Commander Lisa Parks joined him, marveling at how much the ship had changed while still feeling like home. Think it'll work? Lisa asked. Jake smiled at the incredible technology around them. The Catherine Empire wanted to teach humanity a lesson about its place in the universe. I think they're about to learn some lessons work both ways. 6 months after the attack, the rebuilt Liberty launched from Titan shipyards with a crew of 300. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching the vessel cut through space like a blade through water. Though similar in appearance, everything inside had been transformed by human ingenuity and alien quantum physics. Commander Lisa Parks monitored engineering from her station. All systems are running perfectly, Captain. The quantum core is drawing power from subspace exactly as designed. We're operating at 120% of our original capacity. Navigator Ben Cooper had been promoted to lead a team of combat navigators trained specifically for tracking Catherine vessels. Course was set for the Proxima sector, sir. Intelligence reports indicate that's where regular Catherine patrols operate. Jake nodded and settled into his command chair. Take us out, Ben. It's time to find the ship that tried to kill us. The Liberty's new quantum drive propelled them faster than any human vessel had ever traveled. Dr. Amy Rodriguez worked in her upgraded lab, analyzing enemy ship signatures and refining the ship's defensive systems. Every piece of Catherine technology they had studied was now integrated into the Liberty's adaptive network. Their first encounter came 3 days into the hunt. A Catherine patrol ship detected them near a gas giant in an unexplored system. The alien vessel was sleek and lethal, armed with weapons that could cripple any ordinary human ship. Catherine vessel on approach vector, reported Tactical Officer Steve Johnson. They're charging their quantum disruptors. Jake smiled, grimly. Let them fire first. I want to see how our new systems handle their weapons. The Catherine ship released the same type of quantum disruption field that had disabled the original Liberty. But this time, the waves struck adaptive shields specifically designed to counter them. Instead of draining power, the disruptor field was absorbed and converted into additional energy for the Liberty's systems. Direct hits, sir, Lisa reported with satisfaction. Shields absorbed the entire attack and converted it to usable power. We're now at 150% capacity. The Catherine vessel attempted to flee, but the Liberty was faster. Jake fired a single warning shot that disabled their engines without destroying the ship. When the aliens surrendered, Dr. Rodriguez led a boarding team to study their technology and learn Catherine tactics. Their computers contain navigation data for the entire sector, Amy reported after examining the captured vessel. We now know the location of every patrol route and supply depot within 50 light years. Over the next 2 months, the Liberty encountered 17 Catherine ships. Each battle provided insights into enemy weapons and defenses. The ship's adaptive network analyzed every attack and automatically improved countermeasures. What began as an exploration vessel was evolving into something the galaxy had never seen before. Ben Cooper's navigation team developed new combat maneuvers using the ship's quantum systems to appear and disappear from sensors. They struck without warning and vanished before the enemy could respond. The Catherine Empire began referring to them as the Ghost Ship in communications. Intelligence reports are coming in from across the sector, Steve Johnson said during a briefing. Catherine High Command is growing nervous about a human vessel immune to their weapons. They're increasing patrol strength and altering routes. Jake studied tactical displays showing Catherine's ship movements. Good. Fear leads to mistakes. Keep hunting patrols, but avoid their main battle groups for now. We're not ready for that fight yet. Commander Parks had been collaborating with engineering teams to enhance their systems further. Captain, we can modify the quantum core to do more than absorb disruptor attacks. We might be able to turn their weapon signatures against them. Dr. Rodriguez joined from her lab. She's right. Every attack teaches us more about their quantum systems. We're building a database of their entire technological philosophy. The breakthrough came during their 18th encounter with a Catherine heavy cruiser. The enemy was twice their size, armed with weapons capable of destroying a small moon. But when it fired its quantum disruptors, the Liberty didn't just absorb the attack. Its adaptive systems had learned enough to reverse the energy and send it back at the attacking ship. The cruiser's shields failed under the reflected energy, weapons overloaded, and engines went dead in space. For the first time in history, a Catherine warship had been defeated by what they considered a primitive species. Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from Catherine High Command, Ben reported as they studied the disabled enemy vessel. The main screen filled with the image of a Catherine military commander, eyes burning with rage. Human. Vessel, you have committed acts of war against the Catherine Empire. Our most sacred technologies have been violated by your crude adaptations. Jake stood, facing the alien commander. Your empire attacked us first. We're just returning the favor, with interest. You do not understand what you have done, the Catherine replied. The quantum technologies you steal are not meant for primitive species. You play with forces that could destroy your entire civilization. Maybe, Jake said calmly, but we're fast learners. Every time you attack us, we get a little better at fighting back. The transmission ended. Alarms blared throughout the Liberty. Long-range sensors picked up a massive energy signature approaching their position. Dr. Rodriguez checked her instruments, her face pale. Captain, something big is coming. The energy readings, off the scale, at least 10 times larger than anything we've seen. Ben's navigation console flashed warnings as a ship emerged from quantum space. It was enormous, over 1 kilometer long, with weapons that made previous encounters look like training exercises. The hull pulsed with glowing symbols. Godspear-class dreadnought, Steve whispered. I've heard of these, but never seen. 1. Each has enough firepower to destroy a star system. A new transmission came through, displaying a Catherine unlike any they'd seen. Wearing elaborate armor, he carried himself with the bearing of one who had never known defeat. I am War Prince Zathok of the Catherine Empire, the alien declared. You have humiliated our forces with stolen technology and crude adaptations. Your species must learn that there are consequences for challenging gods. Jake looked at his crew. Determination shone on every face. They had come hunting the HFY ship that had disabled them and found something far more dangerous, but they were no longer a helpless exploration vessel left to die. They had become something new, something the Catherine Empire had never faced. All hands. Battle stations, Jake ordered. Let's show this war prince what humans can do when we put our minds to it. The God Spear opened fire before Jake could even give further orders. Massive energy beams, capable of vaporizing asteroids, slammed into the Liberty's shields with the force to light entire star systems. The human ship shuddered under the assault, but its adaptive defenses held, absorbing and redirecting the incredible energy. Shields holding at 90%, Commander Lisa Parks reported from engineering. But Captain, the power output from that ship, it's beyond anything we've seen. They're not just using quantum disruptors, they're channeling energy directly from subspace. War Prince Zathok's voice echoed across the bridge through communications. Your crude adaptations cannot withstand the might of a godship, human. The Godspear has destroyed entire fleets and conquered star systems. You are insects challenging a hurricane. Jake gripped his command chair as another barrage struck the ship. Ben, get us moving. Use the asteroid field for cover. Steve, return fire but precise. I want to see how their shields handle our modified weapons. Navigator Ben Cooper sent the Liberty diving between massive space rocks, using the debris for protection while they analyzed their enemy. The Godspear's size made it slow-moving, but its weapons could track them anywhere in the system. Each shot melted asteroid surfaces into glowing slag. Tactical Officer Steve Johnson fired their quantum torpedoes at the dreadnought's shields. The weapons struck and vanished into energy barriers that seemed to bend space itself around the massive ship. No effect, sir. Their shields are absorbing our attacks just like we absorb theirs. Dr. Amy Rodriguez worked frantically in her lab, analyzing the energy signatures from the Godspear's weapons. Captain, this ship, using technology we haven't seen before. It's not just drawing power from subspace, Dr. Rodriguez reported. It's partially existing in another dimension. That's why our weapons can't touch it. The battle raged for hours. The Liberty dodged between asteroids while the Godspear systematically destroyed every piece of cover. The human ship's adaptive systems learned from each strike, but the dreadnought's raw power seemed limitless. For every improvement the Liberty made, the Godspear unleashed 10 times more energy. Hull breach on Deck 7, Lisa called, as another beam grazed their ship. Damage control is sealing it now, but we can't keep taking hits forever. War Prince Zathok opened another communication channel, his face showing cruel satisfaction. You fight well for primitives, but you cannot win. The Godspear draws power from the quantum foam between dimensions. Your kind builds tools. We build gods of war. Jake studied the tactical displays. The Liberty was faster and more adaptable. Yet the Godspear's firepower could crack planets. Every human innovation met overwhelming alien superiority. It seemed hopeless, until Dr. Rodriguez made a discovery that changed everything. Captain, I've been analyzing their quantum signatures, Amy called. The Godspear's godlike power comes from a single source deep inside the ship. A quantum core at least 100 times larger than. Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from Catherine High Command, Ben reported as they studied the disabled enemy vessel. The main screen filled with the image of a Catherine military commander, eyes burning with rage. Human vessel, you have committed acts of war against the Catherine Empire. Our most sacred technologies have been violated by your crude adaptations. Jake stood, facing the alien commander. Your empire attacked us first. We're just returning the favor, with interest. You do not understand what you have done, the Catherine replied. The quantum technologies you steal are not meant for primitive species. You play with forces that could destroy your entire civilization. Maybe, Jake said calmly, but we're fast learners. Every time you attack us, we get a little better at fighting back. The transmission ended. Alarms blared throughout the Liberty. Long-range sensors picked up a massive energy signature approaching their position. Dr. Rodriguez checked her instruments, her face pale. Captain, something big is coming. The energy readings, off the scale, at least 10 times larger than anything we've seen. Ben's navigation console flashed warnings as a ship emerged from quantum space. It was enormous, over 1 kilometer long, with weapons that made previous encounters look like training exercises. The hull pulsed with glowing symbols. Godspear-class dreadnought, Steve whispered. I've heard of these, but never seen. 1. Each has enough firepower to destroy a star system. A new transmission came through, displaying a Catherine unlike any they'd seen. Wearing elaborate armor, he carried himself with the bearing of one who had never known defeat. I am War Prince Zethok of the Catherine Empire, the alien declared. You have humiliated our forces with stolen technology and crude adaptations. Your species must learn that there are consequences for challenging gods. Jake looked at his crew. Determination shone on every face. They had come hunting the Eye, ship that had disabled them, and found something far more dangerous. But they were no longer a helpless exploration vessel left to die. They had become something new, something the Catherine Empire had never faced. All hands, battle stations, Jake ordered. Let's show this war prince what humans can do when we put our minds to it. The Godspear opened fire before Jake, could even give further orders. Massive energy beams, capable of vaporizing asteroids, slammed into the Liberty's shields with the force to light entire star systems. The human ship shuddered under the assault, but its adaptive defenses held, absorbing and redirecting the incredible energy. Shields holding at 90%, Commander Lisa Parks reported from engineering. But Captain, the power output from that ship, it's beyond anything we've seen. They're not just using quantum disruptors, they're channeling energy directly from subspace. War Prince Zethok's voice echoed across the bridge through communications. Your crude adaptations cannot withstand the might of a godship, human. The Godspear has destroyed entire fleets and conquered star systems. You are insects challenging a hurricane. Jake gripped his command chair as another barrage struck the ship. Ben, get us moving. Use the asteroid field for cover. Steve, return fire but precise. I want to see how their shields handle our modified weapons. Navigator Ben Cooper sent the Liberty diving between massive space rocks, using the debris for protection while they analyzed their enemy. The Godspear's size made it slow-moving, but its weapons could track them anywhere in the system. Each shot melted asteroid surfaces into glowing slag. Tactical Officer Steve Johnson fired their quantum torpedoes at the dreadnought's shields. The weapons struck and vanished into energy barriers that seemed to bend space itself around the massive ship. No effect, sir. Their shields are absorbing our attacks just like we absorb theirs. Dr. Amy Rodriguez worked frantically in her lab, analyzing the energy signatures from the Godspear's weapons. Captain, this ship, using technology we haven't seen before. It's not just drawing power from subspace, Dr. Rodriguez reported. It's partially existing in another dimension. That's why our weapons can't touch it. The battle raged for hours. The Liberty dodged between asteroids while the Godspear systematically destroyed every piece of cover. The human ship's adaptive systems learned from each strike, but the dreadnought's raw power seemed limitless. 4. Every improvement the Liberty made, the God Spear unleashed 10 times more energy. "Hull breach on Deck 7, Lisa called as another beam grazed their ship. "Damage control is sealing it now, but we can't keep taking hits forever." War Prince Zithok opened another communication channel, his face showing cruel satisfaction. "You fight well for primitives, but you cannot win. The God Spear draws power from the quantum foam between dimensions. Your kind builds tools. We build gods of war." Jake studied the tactical displays. The Liberty was faster and more adaptable, yet the God Spear's firepower could crack planets. Every human innovation met overwhelming alien superiority. It seemed hopeless, until Dr. Rodriguez made a discovery that changed everything, and ours. "But it follows the same principles." Lisa looked up from her damage reports. "If it's quantum technology, our adaptive system should be able to interfere with it somehow." "Not interfere," Amy interrupted, her excitement growing. "Merge with it. The Catherine built their godship using rigid engineering. Human technology adapts and evolves. If we get close enough to their quantum core, our systems might link with theirs." Ben understood immediately. "You want to ram the God Spear." "Not ram," Jake said, the plan forming in his mind. "Integrate. We turn the Liberty into a guided missile aimed at their power source. Our adaptive systems connect with their quantum core and force it to evolve beyond their control." War Prince Zethok seemed to detect the course change. His next transmission carried a note of alarm. "What are you doing, human? No species has ever dared approach the God Spear's sacred quantum chamber. The energies there would tear apart any normal ship." "Good thing we're not normal," Jake replied, opening ship-wide communications. "All hands, this is the captain. We're about to do something never attempted before. We're flying directly into the enemy ship's power core and merging our quantum systems with theirs. It may destroy us, but if it works, we'll create something the Catherine Empire has never seen." The Liberty accelerated toward the massive dreadnought as every weapon on the God Spear focused on the approaching human ship. Energy beams capable of melting moons struck their shields in a relentless barrage. Adaptive defenses held but began failing under the assault. "Shields at 30%, Lisa called. "Whole ship temperature critical. The vessel won't hold much longer." 20 seconds to impact, Ben reported. "God Spear's quantum core directly ahead, energy readings spiking as we close in. War Prince Zethok's final transmission showed a face twisted with rage, and perhaps fear. "You madmen! The quantum core contains energies from the universe's birth. If disrupted, the explosion could tear a hole in space itself." Jake looked at his crew, who had followed him from peaceful exploration to this ultimate confrontation. "Then we better make sure we control it, instead of letting it disrupt us." The Liberty struck the God Spear's hull and continued. Its quantum-enhanced structure phased through the alien armor as if it weren't there. Deck after deck passed beneath them until they reached the chamber housing the quantum core powering a god of war. The collision wasn't violent as Jake had feared. Instead, the ships seemed to flow together, their quantum systems recognizing each other and beginning to connect. The Liberty's adaptive technology reached out to the rigid Catherine core, forcing it to evolve beyond its original design. On the bridge, screens showed energy readings climbing beyond instrument limits. The ship around them began, changing as human adaptability merged with alien power. Jake felt the transformation not only in their vessel, but in the reality around them. "What have we done?" Lisa whispered as the walls glowed with their own light. "We became something new," Jake replied, watching the universe reshape itself around their merged ship. "Something the galaxy has never seen before." The transformation completed in a blinding flash, visible across 3 star systems. When the energy storm faded, what floated in space where the 2 ships had collided was impossible. The vessel was neither the Liberty nor the God Spear, but something entirely new, existing in multiple dimensions at once. Captain Jake Morrison stood on a bridge that stretched beyond normal space, walls showing angles of reality human eyes had never perceived. The quantum merger had rewritten everything, creating a ship that could alter the laws of physics around itself. "Captain, are you seeing this?" Commander Lisa Parks called from engineering, now displaying readouts from systems that didn't exist in normal space. "We're not just drawing power from subspace. We're linked to the quantum foam holding the universe together." Navigator Ben Cooper worked at controls that responded as much to thought as to touch. "Sir, our position isn't fixed in normal space. We can move between dimensions, appear anywhere instantly, and the ship exists in several realities at once." Dr. Amy Rodriguez examined readings defying all known science. The merger didn't just combine technologies, it created something beyond both human and Catherine understanding. We exist outside normal rules of space and time. Warp Prince Zathok's escape pods drifted nearby, the proud warrior reduced to fleeing in a tiny craft. Jake opened a channel. "To the alien who once called humans primitive insects. War Prince, are you still there?" Jake asked calmly. The alien's face appeared, showing awe and terror. "What have you become, human? The readings from your ship? Impossible. You exist in 4 dimensions simultaneously." "We became what we always were," Jake replied, simply. "Human. We adapt, we learn, and we refuse to accept that something can't be done. You wanted to show us our place in the universe, so we made our own." Zathok's eyes widened at the sensor readings from his escape pod. "The quantum signature from your vessel is spreading. Whatever you've created is affecting space itself across this system." Jake looked around his transformed bridge at crew members mastering technology that shouldn't exist. "Dr. Rodriguez, what exactly are we now?" Amy studied the instruments, in awe. "Captain, we're not just a ship. We're a template. The quantum merger created a pattern that can be replicated and applied to other vessels. We're the blueprint for something the galaxy has never seen." Tactical Officer Steve Johnson monitored weapon systems able to target enemies across multiple dimensions. "Sir, Catherine reinforcements are approaching from the system's edge, 3 heavy cruisers and another dreadnought." "Let them come," Jake said, feeling the ship's new capabilities responding to his will. "It's time to field test our upgrades." The approaching Catherine fleet opened fire from maximum range, unleashing quantum disruptor beams that had destroyed countless enemy vessels. But the transformed Liberty didn't even bother to dodge. The energy weapons passed harmlessly through the ship as it phased between dimensions. Jake spoke into the communication system, broadcasting to the entire Catherine fleet. "This is Captain Morrison of the human vessel Liberty. You have one chance to withdraw from this system peacefully." The Catherine fleet commander's response crackled with arrogance. "One human ship cannot stand against the might of the Catherine Empire, no matter what alien tricks you have learned." "Then let me show you what human tricks look like," Jake replied, giving his crew permission to strike. What followed couldn't be called a battle. The transformed Liberty appeared simultaneously in 4 locations around the Catherine fleet. Its quantum-enhanced weapons reached through dimensional barriers to strike the enemy's most vulnerable systems. Shields that had protected Catherine vessels for 1,000 years were rendered useless against attacks from directions that didn't exist in normal space. One by one, alien warships went dark as their power systems failed under assaults from weapons that rewrote physics itself. The proud Catherine fleet found itself helpless against technology that made their godships look like primitive toys. "All enemy vessels disabled," Steve reported with satisfaction. Their crews were abandoning ship. Ben Cooper monitored communications across the galaxy as news spread. "Captain, we're receiving reports from every human outpost in this sector. The Catherine Empire is recalling all fleets to defend their core worlds. They're calling us the God Killer in their transmissions." Dr. Rodriguez studied the quantum patterns left behind by their victory. "Captain, I'm detecting something disturbing." The merger didn't just create one template. Every time we use our new capabilities, we leave Quantum Echo's other. Ships could follow. Jake grasped the meaning immediately. You mean other human vessels could be upgraded the same way? Not just upgraded, Amy explained. Transformed completely. We've created a pathway that any human ship could use to become like us. The template is spreading through subspace itself. Lisa looked up from engineering displays, excitement and concern in her eyes. Admiral Sullivan is requesting immediate communication. She's detected energy readings at Titan shipyards that match our quantum signature. The main screen filled with Admiral Sullivan's face. Behind her, Jake saw construction bays filled with ships glowing with the same dimensional energy as the Liberty. Captain Morrison, what exactly did you do out there? Every ship in our fleet is showing signs of quantum evolution. Jake smiled, realizing what they had accomplished. We didn't just build a god killer, Admiral. We built a factory for making them. The template is self-replicating, spreading to every human vessel it encounters. War Prince Zethok's final transmission came from his escape pod fleeing Catherine's space. You fools! You have no idea what you've unleashed. Forces exist in this galaxy that will not tolerate species that transcend dimensional barriers. You've marked your entire race for extinction. Jake looked at his crew, seeing the same determination that had carried them through months of impossible battles. Let them come. Humanity has never backed down from a challenge, and we're not about to start now. 6 months later, reports reached Catherine High Command of human fleets capable of appearing anywhere instantly, phasing through defenses, and turning enemy weapons into energy sources. The species they had tried to humble with a single attack had become something that made the mighty Catherine Empire look primitive. The final communication from Catherine's space was simple, filled with the kind of fear born from realizing they had awakened something better left sleeping. They were just exploring.